again, Nick, thank you for having me. I'll take a second to present my screen, and we'll try to make my little talk fit into the 10 minutes. I don't want to take away from everybody else's useful and valuable Amazon information.
Abe, I'm excited to see your presentation, man. You always bring it. So kudos to
I
you.
don't know. I'm always nervous, so we'll see what balances out this time. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Abe Chomali. I have a Amazon marketing company called XP Strategy, and I've been doing business online and offline for quite a while. I started selling in 1991, and we basically started out literally by running ads in magazines and taking phone calls from people before there was even an internet. We started selling in 1999. Even before there was Amazon, we had Yahoo stores, we had our own website. We were advertising on every marketplace, including eBay and all of the rest of the places where we could sell products. Of course, Amazon came along. We ramped that up for a while. And since 2018, I've had my own Amazon marketing agency. The shortest version of the story there is that I like that part of the business best. When it came to all the different pieces of the business, connecting with buyers, finding the ways to encourage them to make purchases, getting dissatisfaction as sales numbers grow with our efforts. That was always the part that resonated with me most, and I decided to lean into that. I work with several dozen sellers, about 50 sellers, and basically what we see whenever we start working with brands is something pretty straightforward. Essentially, what we see is that brands are not protecting their own properties. Almost always, no matter what size of account we're working with, whether it's a small seller doing a few $1,000s a month in business, or whether it's larger brands doing even up to millions of dollars in business, what we typically end up seeing is that either no brand protection is being run, or we see that people are not paying a lot of attention to taking care of their brands. And when I point this out to the brands that I start looking at, I usually get one of two responses, almost always. The first response that I get is, my brand is too small. This is something that I came up with myself. Really, nobody knows it, and it's not something that I have to worry about protecting. That's one reply that sellers and brands give to me when I ask the question, why aren't you protecting your brand? Second answer I get, which applies mostly to larger sellers and more established brands, is, listen, a shopper is typing my brand into the search result. They want my product. They're going to buy my product. Why do I need to run an ad and just spend more money? Well, I'm going to show you in the next few slides why that's actually an important thing, and why not taking care of your brands can lead to headaches down the line. So let's start off with an example of somebody who does things right. If you go to Amazon and you search for Garnier, they're the shampoo and skincare company. Anything that you search for that has to do with Garnier, you'll basically see that what they are doing is really making sure that nobody else has a chance to breathe. You'll see the top of the page has a headline search ad. You'll see that there are categories set up. You'll see the organic slots taken up by, of course, Garnier products. They really want to make sure that whatever you're looking for within their brand, you're going to be able to find it. This is the most perfect example of brand protection. They have decided to really, really take care of their brand, to reinforce it and not give anybody any space. Now, if we look at another example, we'll start to see a progression of people taking less and less care. So I did a search on Amazon for CeraVe. They make moisturizers as well. And this is a case where they are thinking the way that I described the second way, that, hey, somebody is looking for CeraVe. They're basically going to buy a CeraVe product. And what you see is what it looks like when people don't take care of their ads. So you'll see across the top of the page a Neutrogena ad. you'll see the first sponsor spot being taken up by Proactive, and you'll see some more ad spots here being taken up by completely random items, by eye masks and Aveeno and other products. Now, CeraVe still has their ad, they still have the organic spots, but you see here that literally almost half the products being shown are not the brand that people are looking for. And gradually over time, that leads to them losing shoppers that were interested in their product. There might be a time where a shopper can't find exactly the CeraVe product they wanted, and they become open to a different brand that has something similar. Here, if CeraVe had been taking care of the brand and blanketing the page, they would be in a situation where there is a different option, even if the thing that the shopper is looking for isn't immediately available. Now, what happens over time, as more and more people turn to alternatives, you can end up with a very extreme situation like this. I did a search for Legacy speakers. Legacy is a brand of fancy speakers. And what I saw was, like I said, the most extreme example. I have encountered this with other brands that I work with, but I didn't want to show any of those brand names. But here is a situation where a search for Legacy speakers does not result in any Legacy speaker results. The sponsored results across the top are not legacy products, and all of the organic spots are all other brands and not even speakers in some cases. Um, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And really, it illustrates the fact that you want to take care of your brand for searches. Now, searches are not the only place where you can bleed shoppers. Product pages, even with all of your images and all of your content, are also places where these loss of brand tied shoppers can happen. If we take a look at a couple of brand pages, you'll see something similar. Again, Garnier, if you're looking for their micellar water, you will see a page filled with Garnier products. The entire carousel of sponsor products is different versions of the water. They've got every single spot on the page really filled up with their products. Again, when you look for a Garnier product, you cannot help but buy one of their products. However, if we go to a different space with also a well-known brand, if we look at Illy Coffee, you will see exactly the opposite. Much of the page is filled with product that is not theirs. And in the space of coffee, where people are always interested in trying something a little bit different, something new, this turns into an issue. Consider a similar item, Kicking Horse Coffee, that is not made by Illy. Right below it, there's a Kimbro spot. Never even heard of Kimbo Coffee, but you never know if it's going to resonate with somebody. We've got Lavazza. We've got Amazon's own brands here as well as others. There are a lot of opportunities for Illy to lose shoppers, and they definitely are. They might have a lot of product that they sell, and they might have 7,000 reviews, but there is a certain amount of shoppers that come to that product page and end up buying something else. Now, all of these examples are brands which are very large, of course, and I will make the assumption that most of the people participating or listening to the webinar today are maybe a little bit smaller than Garnier or Illy. So the first question you might ask is, does this even apply to me? Well, the short answer is yes. Once you get to the point where you're selling a few hundred units a month of a product, you will start to get branded searches. As you get your product in the hands of shoppers, there will be people who are ideally happy with your product, people who start to like your brand. And as long as it's not a brand with a whole bunch of random vowels in it, people will start searching for you. You'll start to have search volume. As soon as you start to have search volume, your competitors will notice you on their radar as a product which is moving up organic spots also, and they will start targeting you. They're going to start targeting your brand name, and they will also start targeting your product with product targeting ads. Now, when you run a product targeting ad, it doesn't just show up on the product page, but it also shows up in the spots where your products rank highest, which is a branded search. So all of a sudden, you'll have cases where people are intentionally targeting your brand, but even if they're not intentionally targeting your brand, if they are targeting your product, and if they're bidding high enough and you aren't bidding high enough, you will start to have a situation where you are 2, 3, 4 rows down the page because of all the ad spots being taken up by competitors. So unfortunately, like it or not, you do have to invest in taking care of the brand you've built. Now, there is a little bit of a good news there. The good news is that those ads typically will not cost you much to protect your brand. Even if you bid 5, 10, $15 a click to make sure you take up every spot, because your product is the most relevant for your own search, Amazon will not charge you the full amount you bid. Not only that, you are going to be the one that converts the best. For the same reason that people might not have wanted to advertise, that's also the reason why their ads convert the best. And those high conversion rates plus a lower CPC from Amazon lead to typically very, very low ACOSs. If you have enough volume, I've typically seen ACOSs of 3, 4, 6%, even with $15 and $20 bids. So you shouldn't be afraid of that advertising, and you shouldn't be afraid of the bids necessary to fill the carousel with your products. Um, it's really as simple as that. What you should do is look at Amazon, search for your own products, and see what the product pages look like when you look for your products, and do the extra steps to capture the sales that you've invested in the first place. How am I doing on time? I think that's all I've got for the moment.